Well, hey guys, hope you're doing great today, and I really hope that you have been trying some of these different spiritual practices that I've been sharing with you. And as I said, I believe that if you will try them consistently, you continue to give them a chance, you will experience God. You will grow in your closeness with God and the feeling of intimacy with God and the freedom that you experience in your time with God. It won't feel quite so confined, like it has to include this, this, and this, and I need to do this for this long and this for that long, and then I better do this, otherwise I'm not sure it counts, it matters. And one thing too is I was thinking about what to share with you today. I want to continue to encourage you to extend grace to yourself. You're doing something maybe for the first time or the first few times that you've practiced it. So it's not going to be the most smooth. It might not be all that I explain my experience to be. It might be a unique thing for you, but please be quick to show yourself grace and to refuse to be discouraged because the first time or two that you try it didn't really click for you. So, okay, so I'm going to share with you one more today's edition of a spiritual practice that I think is really, really important for the day and the time that we find ourselves living in today. You have COVID and the implications of, you have racial tension and inequity and injustice, and then you also have a political election season upon us and growing in tension. And so there's so many things, and that doesn't even include any of the personal challenges or strife that you're experiencing or somebody that is close to you that you love dearly is experiencing. So this spiritual practice I think is really important. It's called Benevolent Detachment. Benevolent Detachment. And John Eldredge writes a whole chapter on this, and I'm just going to boil it down to the core of what it is. Detachment can seem like a negative, like an unwillingness to engage in something. But what John Eldredge, that's a different John Eldredge says is benevolent detachment is ultimately the awareness that the burden that I am bearing is simply too great for me to bear, and I need to therefore give it to God. It's not a resignation from engagement in whatever that burden may be, but it is for a time acknowledging that I am not capable of accomplishing a desired outcome on my own. And he invites us to pray a simple prayer. God, I give you racial equality. God, I give you the tension we are experiencing in our country in this political season. God, I give you those who have lost loved ones. I don't know what to do or say. I can't carry it alone. God, I give you them. God, I give you my friend. God, I give you my family member. God, I bring them to the foot of your throne, believing that you are still very much God, that you are still very much good, that you are still on the throne, that you remain sovereign over all of these difficulties, all these trials that we are currently experiencing. God, I bring them to you. I love Matthew 11 when, I think it's verses 28 and 29, maybe 30, where Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." It's an invitation to say, God, here is my burden. I can't carry it anymore on my own, and to invite Him to give you rest in the midst of your exhaustion. And then one of the things that John Eldredge says is we aren't quick to let go. We kind of hold things tightly in our hand. And so he says, until you feel your hand relaxing and opening, that you would continue to repeat the same thing. God, I give you my sister. God, I give you my sister. Until in that moment, you have truly surrendered and truly entrusted your sister to Him. God is capable. Hebrews 4, I believe it's 15 and 16, says, "Let us approach the throne of grace Let us approach the throne of grace freely that we might find what we need. God invites us again and again throughout Scripture to bring our needs to Him. So benevolent detachment in this season where there is so much tension, so much strife, so much disunity, there are a lot of feelings that we and others are experiencing, that in this season that we would pray that simple prayer, God, I give you. God, I give you. Because God, I need you. May God bless you and free you from the burden that you feel like you have to bear on your own.